Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today I have a very special Rob's Ramblings. It's really going to be my top 5 carried knives in the last couple of months, maybe a few months. I haven't done one of these in a while and I thought I would do one and maybe, tag a couple of folks if I can at the bottom and see if they have some top 5 carried knives. So let's get into this. Basically, these are the knives that I've really enjoyed carrying and carried the most. You may not have seen them in a lot of videos, but I've been carrying around the house and I really enjoy having them around with me. Some of them you'll see some videos on, probably some shorts, but some of them you'll pick out right away and some of them you won't. So let's get into it. And I'll go in order of the least to the most carried that as far as I can remember. And to me, this was a pretty easy list to do because of how much I've been carrying them. So let's get into it. All right, first one, number 5 is going to be my BergBlades Sweeney. And this is in the carbon fiber. It's a top flipper, front flipper. It's got a little fuller hole right there, which is really nice. Titanium deep pocket carry clip. It is made by Riot, and the action on this thing is phenomenal. Beautiful blade shape, satin finish, M390, and it drops just so wonderfully. And reverse flicks really well. And because it is a bolster frame lock, easy to reverse flick left-handed. And the tuning on the action on this is just phenomenal. I can easily top flip it like that, right? So really, really great, fun knife. I've enjoyed carrying this one a lot. As soon as I pull it out and I carry it, I just realized how much I do enjoy this one. So that's just one of these really, really favorite knives for me. A Riot-made knife. It's not a captive pivot, which is ironic, but it is just really a great, great user. And it's just a perfect size. Fits my hand really well. You can choke up really well. Edge is really great. Strops up super nice. Oh, I have a little strop compound on there because I stropped it recently. So just a really great blade. I really, really enjoy that. So that's number 5. All right, so number 4 is an all-time favorite, but this one is a variant of the one that I normally always carry, and it's been a lot of fun to carry. I've really enjoyed carrying my EMP by EDC Relative. And this is the blacked out version, which I really like a lot. This is in the, I believe this is the LMAX steel, and it is a hollow grind, drop point, dual grind. It's compound here on the inside, beautiful thin edge. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if we can get a nice close up on that. Can you guys get to see that? Just beautiful, super thin edge there. Action is ridiculous on this one as well. It is, again, a front top flipper. And I just let you know, I'm not a top flipper only kind of guy. I just happen to like the way these are executed. I would say the Sweeney and the EMP EDC Relative are just phenomenal top flippers. But the fuller here is just so much fun. And this is a thumb hole, but it's also got a full fuller, so you can go down low. Sorry, you can go down low like that, which is really nice and works really well left-handed. Has a nice crisp opening, right? Works really well with the thumb and the reverse flick, and the top flip is really nice. And this beautiful milling texturing on the titanium is just so great. It's getting a little dirty because I carry these and I use these knives, so I expect at some point I'm going to chip some of that black off of there, and you're going to see some of the titanium or what have you, and that's fine because I'm going to use this. So love the long jimping up here, and you got a nice finger choil. You can choke up on this puppy and just really push away, which is really, really nice. Do like the all blacked out version for me. This is just really a favorite of mine. I love this knife, and I will say this is still in the knife of the year contention for me. Maybe a couple other ones, but this one definitely would go into the knife of the year contention because I don't know, it's just done so stinking well. Still one of my absolute favorite. Matter of fact, I have 2 of these. I have a plain one and I have this one here, the blacked out version. The plain one is a clip point Tanto, and it's in 20 CV blade steel. And then I have this one, but this is the one I've been carrying lately, and so I've really enjoyed. I always like carrying that one, but this one I've really enjoyed carrying lately. So that's number 4. All right, so let's get to number 3, and this was on another recent list of mine, but this one is just a phenomenal one. This is a banger. This is the Oz Machine Company Rosie or Roosevelt, and this is a grail of grail, and this was my number 1 grail knife too. But I think I carried a lot. I really do. I carry as much as I can. Now I don't like to do hard use stuff with it because it's a grail knife, but I use it. I absolutely use it to cut things. And it's Magna Cut blade steel, beautifully centered. Action is ridiculous. This milling pattern on the titanium is just, I don't know, crazy great. I love it. And the reverse flick on this thing and the action is ridiculous. So you can get that beautiful crisp deployment. Haven't tuned, taken this apart, done anything. It's just been great straight out of the box like that. It was a one of these Grail knives that I thought I would never get, right? And then one of my subscribers, excuse me, one of my subscribers allowed me to check this out. Really, really kind of him. And when I opened it, I had a really crazy, overwhelming experience with it. And yeah, it's that phenomenal of a knife. And I guess they got another one in a drop and has two, one he was going to give to his son and one that he has. But he said, hey, do you want to buy this? And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I would love to do so. So I did, and such a great guy, just an absolute great guy. I really appreciate that. There's some wonderful people out in the knife community. And man, yeah, this is just one of those phenomenal knives that I really enjoy. I got a little dirt on there because I use it. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful knife. I love this milling. This is the exact version of the Rosie that I wanted. That's what was even more special because this is my Grail of Grail. And so I love carrying this, and I do carry this, and it's just so much fun. And it's so much fun to deploy because it's just so crisp. I love that. You know, before that one, this was my crisp, super powerful deployment one, right? And you get a nice crisp on the left side here, so you can really feel that nice pop. It's a little softer, right? Not as high pitched, and but definitely a nice, crisp, firm deployment. But this one has just a nice snap to it. Nice snap. Has a beautiful acoustics on there. I don't know if you can hear that. Let me see if I can do this a little closer to the mic. Just so much fun, so much fun. Yeah, that's just a phenomenal knife. So I've really enjoyed carrying that one a lot. So that's the Rosie by Machine. All right. So the number two knife that I've really enjoyed carrying was a recent acquisition. It was something that a company allowed me to check out at first, and I was blown away that I was, and it was so exciting. This is the Quiet Carry Drift L. So I have the Drift LC, love that knife. I've actually been carrying that. That was number 6 here in my list because I carried that quite a bit this month or a couple of months as well. So the Drift LC, this is the Drift L. And the difference is the LC is a larger version of the Drift. The original Drift was a Super Vanix titanium phosphor bronze washers. It was a little small. It had a big finger choil, and you know it fit in the hand, but it just didn't flick and didn't have a lot of action. And I loved it, but it was too small. And I ended up selling it, letting somebody else, you know, go to another home, somebody really enjoy it. And when I heard the large came out, I asked, hey, Quiet Carry, is there a chance I could check this out? And they were really amazing, and they allowed me to check it out. And I did a review. And matter of fact, the reviews on my Quiet Carry seem to blow up apparently, and because I'm pretty excited when I do them. So I love that. I love that because this is just such a beautiful, beautiful knife. The milling, the texture on here is phenomenal. It's like a screwless front. I mean, there's the back, where the screws go into, but it's just a beautiful aesthetic. They're milled. You can see that beautiful milling pattern on there. And it is Vanix super clean. And I put these 6mm O-rings. These are the clear ones. You can put them on there. You can buy them off of like Amazon. And here's the Quiet Carry, big, beautiful, thin, slicey blade, and Vanix super clean, which makes this a super great, super great saltwater knife. And everything else, all the other steel here is LC200N. So this is LC200N, LC200N on the pivot and the hardware and all that stuff, which is phenomenal. Even the steel bar insert and over travel stop, which is just done really well. All T8s everywhere. And it's super thin, super thin. But it has sufficient weight. And even while it's super thin, it's milled out. Super great lockup. There's no blade rock or anything like that. You've got a nice cutaway, great easy action to there. And so when it drops, it literally has drop shut action for phosphor bronze. This reminds me of my Spyderco's or my TRM that has sort of that same action. Oops, I missed the thumb stud there. Right. So the action is just really phenomenal. And again, works really nice left-handed as well. And I love that. And I mean, for phosphor bronze, it's crazy great. So this is stone washed on the backside, but this milling is really my favorite part. I love this. This to me is what jumps out at me of Quiet Carry. This characteristics in their knives. This is what just they excel at. And it's just such a beautiful aesthetic that they do. I love it. I love it. So that's why this is number 2. Pretty close contention to being number 1, but the number 1 I'll talk about here in a second is a relatively recent, not super recent, but relatively recent. And I'll show you and talk to you about it. But again, I love this knife. This is such a great knife. And solidly, if I hadn't run into this other knife recently, it would definitely have been number 1. But such a really wonderful knife. If you get a chance to get a hold of one of these, I highly recommend that you do. I think it's a stellar knife for your collection, and it just works really wonderfully. All right, so let's get to number 1. Number 1, this is a knife that I've had in my collection in a way. And then I received something that I got a chance to put on it, And then there was a special, and so I switched out the blade, and it's still ultimately the same knife. So let's talk about it. It's my Andrew Demko 80-20.5. All right, and so I have an 80-20.5 carbon fiber scales. It was S35VN blade steel. It was a clip point. Nice knife. The sharpness was fantastic, worked great. I love the carbon fiber scales. But then I got a chance to see that Rockscale Designs has these scales for it. Now I already have Rockscale Design scales on my Manix 2, which were just made that knife fantastic. And that's an S110V blade steel on that one. And the Rockscale Design scales on that one are just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. If you want to upgrade like a premium steel Manix 2, check out the Rockscale Designs. I recommend it 100% for that. But I saw that they had these. And I knew that Original Goat was coming out with some scales, and I saw some videos on that, and I know I've enjoyed these, and I'm just hit 3,000 subscribers, which blows me away, and I'm super grateful and blown away by it and thankful for that. But I said, hey, is there any chance maybe I could check out one of these? So I bought these, right? And I asked if there's a chance I could check out another set of scales possibly, and they were really gracious enough to let me do that. So I actually put these on my 80-20.5, and I put it on my Paramilitary 2, which is another knife that I'll be carrying a lot more because of the scales. The scales just make it just so premium, right? But I put it on here, and I was loving it. I was loving it. One, it's cut out a little bit more. It's easier to get to. And because of that, then they also, DLT Trading had a special where you bought one of their exclusive 3V blade steels. You got one of the OS 10A 80-20.5s for free, and so that's going to be a giveaway knife. And I asked Rockscale Designs if there's any chance in honor of the 3K giveaway, or at least me breaking 3,000. I don't know if I'll get it in time for the 3K giveaway, and if I do, it may be part of that giveaway. If not, it'll be part of a special other giveaway. But I'm gonna put some Rockscale Designs. Now it's a small pivot, and it's the OS 10A, but it's gonna be a beautiful knife. It's gonna be a really premium, beautiful knife. I think anybody would be happy to get it. But let me talk about this one. So let me go ahead and open it. This is the Tanto blade version. It's 3V blade steel, and I didn't know if I would like that. And man, this is a hollow grind. It's a subtle hollow grind. It's not a real deep hollow grind, but it's definitely a hollow grind. And you can check that. You can actually see that. You can put a little straight bar next to it, and you'll absolutely see that. So I don't know if we can see that here. Yeah, can you see the little gap underneath there? So it's definitely a hollow grind, which I think is awesome. But notice how that's so clear. This makes this so much easier to work, because typically you have to hold it up here to kind of do it like that. But because this is nice and clear, it's so easy to work like this. You can get a better full finger on there, which to me is much more comfortable and makes it so fidgety. And in the titanium scales, it just fits so well, and it has a little extra thickness, which makes it super comfortable. And this has the back spacer as well, which is wonderful. And I have a Lynch Deep Pocket Carry Clip, highly recommend those. And I have Skiff cage bearings inside of this one. There's Skiffs on this one, there's Skiffs on this one, and there will be Skiffs on this one. Haven't quite needed it yet, but once they get a little dirty, I've noticed Skiffs seem to handle dirt a little bit better. When I get manufacturing OEM cage washers, they tend to get a little gritty and chalky, and so when I put Skiffs in there, it just makes a huge difference, and it's better for a long haul. And I don't know if you know this about Skiff washers, they're actually a washer that's milled out, and then so the hole is like this, all right, on the Skiffs. It goes straight through the washer like that, but on the inside, it's not a straight edge. It's radiused. It's radius, so the washer pops in, and it fits inside that radius. So the ball of the washer has this little circle that it can move around, and it's not going to pop out. It's going to stay in there. And so you basically put cage ceramic bearings, cage ceramic balls inside the milled out washers, and that's how they stay. It's not like crimped over phosphor bronze kind of metal. Like if you see a lot of the OEMs, their cage washers are like usually just crimped over. One side's exposed and one is not. So there's all that hollow area in there. That's what's very different about the Skiff washers. It's really phenomenal. And there's some great posts. If you go to Skiff washers, if you go to their Instagram page, you can see some of that really fantastic work in one of their electron microscopes. I think it's worth it. It's phenomenal. It makes my engineering brain happy. It makes all the aesthetics and the action, everything very happy. And so putting Skiffs on here is just beautiful. Makes this knife just so phenomenal. And the extra, like I said, thickness makes this just a perfect fit. Now I always wanted, I had a titanium 3V version with the shark's foot. It was the diamond pattern. It was so aggressive. It really was. It ripped up my pants. And so then I decided I was going to get the carbon fiber, which is fantastic. It has a little texture on there, and I really love that. But if I thought, well, maybe I'll get the smooth titanium. But I always know smooth, all the way smooth titanium is fantastic, but it can be very slippery. And I felt like this is more of a work knife, and so I wanted a little texture. When I saw this texture, and then I saw the rounded corners everywhere, I was like, okay. And then this actually doesn't, if you see the typical 80-20.5, it has a little loop here, and this kind of curves in a little bit more, so it kind of fits in. Your hands are kind of contoured there. This straight back right here is just a little more comfortable. It makes it feel just a little bit nicer, and I love the aesthetic. I love the look of that, just a little bit more. But that's just my personal thing. It may not be for you. They make this exact same scales with the same shape. If you love the original shape, don't worry, you can get the exact same scales with that. But I like this shape personally, and this to me just looks so nice, and it works so nice, and the action is brilliant in there, nice and solid, really fantastic. And I love how it works like that. So this has been a lot of fun to carry, and it's very fidgety. It's the 3V steel obviously is crazy. The Tanto blade shape is so functional. I love it, and I didn't even realize it was hollow grind, which is just a bonus for me. And I love the shape. It's just such a really useful knife, and love, love, love carrying this one. So this one's been in my pocket the most, and I keep picking it up. I keep carrying it, and I really, really, really enjoy this knife. It's such a good knife. And it may not be for you, but for me, that's the top carry for the last couple of months, at least for me. And that's even with only having it, I'm thinking for, 3 weeks? I've carried it so much that it flew up to #1. All right, so you don't always see all the videos when I'm carrying this. I'll do a video with a fresh knife just because I like to switch it up. But I'll always usually have one knife that I'm always carrying, using around the house and stuff. And a lot of times it'll be something like this, or these guys, right? So I enjoy carrying these, like mostly at home when I'm not working on a desk or something. So that's my top 5. So #1 is going to be Andrew Demko, the DLT exclusive Tanto blade shape with a hollow grind 3V blade steel, and the Rockscale Designs scales on here, which is a custom scales that is linerless, by the way. Linerless. You took the liner out and it goes straight into the scales. So this right here, and it's textured, and it's a kind of what they call a smooth handle grip, and a Skiff washer. So that's my #1. My #2 is my Quiet Carry Drift L. This is a beautiful titanium textured scales, and it has the Vanek super clean blade steel. Love the full flat grind, just fantastic. My #3 carry is my Oz Machine Rosie, and this is the Magna Cut with the mill titanium textured scales. Beautiful action, just a really fantastic knife. My #4 is going to be my EMP by EDC Relative. This is the black one in LMAX. Love, love, love this one. It's just such a fantastic action front flipper. Again, Skiff cage ceramic bearings on that one. Really fantastic. And my #5 carry, which is always a sleeper, but I love carrying this, is my BergBlades Sweeney. Just such a great, useful little knife, and it's just so much fun, and the action is great. So I highly recommend. These are my top 5. Hey, what are your top 5? I'd love to hear from you down in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm always curious. And if you have any questions about any of these knives or the channel, let me know, and appreciate you guys. Every one of you guys. That's you brought this channel to 3,000 subscribers, and I am humbled. I'm grateful. I want to say thank you. Man, I'm blown away. So thank you. Hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, entertaining, or informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? If you've already hit the like button, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. Subscribing and liking the videos really helps out the channel, allows me to grow, be able to produce more content, be able to do more things, and ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you very, very much. You guys make this channel, and any revenue I make from this, it goes back to my giveaways. It helps fund some of those. It doesn't always pay for everything, but it certainly helps fund them. So, and I'm appreciative for that. And then finally, if you haven't already, maybe consider hitting that notification button so you can be notified of future content. So whenever I drop a video like this, you will be notified. And then if you haven't, before I talk about that, channel members, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being members, for helping the channel. I am so appreciative to you guys. So thank you. I really appreciate you guys. And if you haven't already, maybe check out the description. And if you want to help the channel, you want to help support it, help me able to produce more content, do more things like this, maybe consider being a channel member. I have 3 different tiers if you're interested. very humbled if anybody is interested in doing that, and I do say thank you. So, and then finally, if you haven't already checked me out over on Instagram, maybe go over to Instagram and check me out at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Hey, thanks so much for watching today. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.